Have you heard a lot of the people are turning their anger on the church right now? 6 churches to date have been burned down on indigenous lands, burnt to the ground. What are your thoughts on that? People who are currently burning down Catholic churches today in response to what happened?
I understand their rage. I share that outrage. Yeah, I think they should disband the Catholic Church and give that money to anybody that they murdered and raped over the years.
What about the burning of the buildings, though? Do you condone that?
It's just symbolism.
So you're okay with the burning of the buildings?
They don't even use them.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't think there's any right answer.
To whether or not if it's wrong to burn down a church today?
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to how someone else feels.
Obviously, when you have a church that has stolen children and buried them in unmarked graves, there's bound to be a reaction to that.
Anger at a building
Yeah.
in response to the death of children. So I think that's justified.
That's justified?
I believe so.
Because they're pissed. Dude, 50,000 kids, this is a genocide country. We're built on fucking dead people.
But do you condone burning churches?
I could give a crap.
6 churches have just been burnt to the ground. Have you heard about that? Catholic, you condone or support burning churches?
Absolutely.
In today's society,
Burn every single one of them down.
I don't think anyone was hurt in the burning down of churches. I think they're burning down a symbol that has oppressed them for years.
Right.
So I mean, I don't think the destruction of property is usually warranted, but I understand that there's anger that people are feeling and they're trying to express themselves.
Bunch of pedos. Everybody knows they're fucking pedos. Catholics are pedos.
They put indigenous people in residential schools, man, and tortured them.
Yeah, the Catholic Church, along with the government.
You tell me whether that's right or not, man.
That's very, very wrong. But I don't think burning down churches today is going to help anything.
Down churches long time ago was a good move.
So you think all of them should be continued to be burned down?
no, not at all.
I'll go burn that one down right there.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and it's that time of year again. It's Canada Day, and Canadians are going to be celebrating the birth of this country. Now, not me personally. I'm certainly not a patriot. I am not proud of being from here because me being born on this particular landmass really had nothing to do with me. I've actually also never voted, not even once in my life, and that's because I'm a philosophical anarchist. In fact, I made a documentary film, a 2-part series called The Democracy Deception, Part 1 and Part 2, The Democracy Deception, What's the Alternative? Now, having said all that, there is a small portion of Canadians who want to cancel Canada Day as a result of what's being discovered at the indigenous residential schools. So today, we're going to ask people on the streets of Vancouver whether or not they're going to be celebrating Canada Day or not, and why. Let's see what they have to say. We're just curious today about people's views on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Canada Day. Some people are celebrating, some people aren't. Are you going to be celebrating Canada Day tomorrow?
Celebrate it passionately.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very passionate Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patriotic, proud Canadian.
Very much so, yeah.
Now, what do you think of the people who are calling to cancel Canada Day? Have you heard of that?
I have, yeah. I think they should wake up and realize that that's not a solution. We can't just cancel everything because we're pissed off about something.
Right.
It can't happen. You know, I was born and raised here. I'm proud of that. My family's all from here. I think it's a slap in the face that we don't celebrate that.
Personally, I don't plan on celebrating it because I feel like the history of Canada, especially right now, since we're uncovering so many of the bodies of the indigenous children, I don't feel like it's really appropriate to be celebrating Canada Day when we should be focusing more on indigenous history right now. So that's sort of my view on it right now.
I am not going to celebrate Canada Day. My father is Native, I am half Native, and I just think it's awful, all the bodies that have been happening and coming up. My grandmother was in a residential school. Yeah, I just don't think it's cool to celebrate Canada Day. Not much to celebrate, I think.
No, just because of all the troubles with the Indigenous people. No, I think that's going to account for a lot of people's dismissal of it. Okay?
I'm not going to be particularly celebrating Canada Day because there's just so much that doesn't deserve celebration that has come to light the past few months. Well, not really that's even come to light. The fact is that this information has been out there. It's just become into the mainstream consciousness the past few weeks.
I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about Canada Day. Mixed feelings about religion right now.
Is that because of the residential schools and what they've recently found?
Yeah, exactly. I think that I think Canada has attempted to try to help, but I think that the Catholic Church needs to do a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Canada Day is worth celebrating. I think I understand the other side of things. In light of the residential school and all that information that's come up, why people and. I understand people's views on that, but on the other side of it, I just think there's more to celebrate. There's more good in this country than bad. There's more positive than negative, and so I think we should use the day to, look at the history, but look at it in a holistic perspective instead of just focusing on the evils. Focus also on all the amazing positive things that we have going in this country and use it to unite everybody instead of divide it.
Right. So for the sake of healing and moving forward, it would be more productive to continue with the celebration?
That's how I feel, exactly, yeah.
I think it still should be celebrated, but on a way of, Canada Day is something different than what's happened, right? I know it's sad, and it's something that everyone should think of, but still Canada Day it's like a memorial day for this country.
I've just moved here from the UK. I didn't realise that it was Canada Day originally. I do now. I have ordered an orange t-shirt to really, I don't know, I think it's a time for reflection. I think it could be a time for reflection. So yeah, that's why I've ordered the orange t-shirt.
Okay, so that's in what, protest to what happened, or can you explain the orange t-shirt thing?
Yeah, for me, from all the reading that I've done about it, it's just to really recognise that Canada was an indigenous people's country before the British came, which obviously I'm British. Yeah, so it's just to respect that, really.
I'm from North Vancouver, from Capilano Reserve, Squamish Nation, and we're totally against Canada Day because it's for the Queen, to be precise. And from the Squamish Nation and from Musqueam and from Burrard Reserve, we're not impressed. And we do not want to celebrate Canada's Day.
Yeah. What sort of benefits can come to the Native community or the First Nations peoples from canceling Canada Day?
More awareness. A lot of elders have been speaking on the radio and stuff. It's just bringing a lot of attention to problems in the Native community, I guess.
There's a lot of sadness and loss around this. So it's not something to celebrate. That is a broken part of our history. But because it's broken doesn't mean that it can't be addressed. And I think awareness is probably a key issue. People want the general public to be aware, but they're becoming aware, and I think taking this celebration away doesn't really promote understanding or knowledge.
We're all immigrants here. And I think the huge fascinating thing when you're on Canada Day is to see people of every race and color celebrating Canada Day. Yes. Right? Because it's a good place to live.
Well, on that note, Justin Trudeau is going around saying Canada is systemically racist, that it is inherently built within the history of the country.
I disagree with that. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we improve every time we have a new generation. I bring my own critiques to life, but my kids are eyes wide open. My kids are what I describe as colorblind. Right? They're aware, they're wide awake. Right? And I think I am for the most part too, but the idea of using that word systemic condemns us all. Yes. I don't want to be condemned. I don't want to condemn anybody else.
Now, have you heard a lot of the people are turning their anger on the church right now? 6 churches to date have been burned down on Indigenous lands, burnt to the ground. What are your thoughts on that? People who are currently burning down Catholic churches today in response to what happened?
I understand their rage. I share that outrage. Yeah, I think they should
condone
disband the Catholic Church and give that money to anybody that they murdered and raped over the years.
What about the burning of the buildings, though? Do you condone that?
It's just symbolism.
So you're okay with the burning of the buildings?
They don't even use them. They didn't put them there. The Catholics put them there.
There's now 6 churches have been burned down to the ground on indigenous lands as a response to what's going on. Have you heard that in the news?
Yeah, I've heard about.
What do you think about? What are your thoughts on that? Is that something you condone, or is that not good?
I don't know. It's hard. I don't think there's any right answer.
To whether or not if it's wrong to burn down a church today?
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to how someone else feels.
Well, I mean, people are really angry about what's happening right now, and I don't think it's really my place to say whether it's right or wrong, because different people are dealing with their anger in different ways. So I don't really feel like I have, the place to say whether they were right or wrong.
You condone or support burning churches?
Absolutely.
In today's society,
Burn every single one of them down.
In today's society, I had never heard of that, but I just can't believe it because I'm Roman Catholic, right? And it just breaks my heart in today's society.
Do you think that's a justified response to burn down the buildings, or no?
It's more than justified.
I have no idea, but you know what? I think that's kind of wrong, but kind of good.
It's not something that I would actively support, but I think it's more than understandable.
You condone church burnings in response to what happened?
I don't condone any forms of violence, but obviously when you have a church that has stolen children and buried them in unmarked graves, there's bound to be a reaction to that.
I mean, I understand the anger, the frustration, or at least I am trying to understand the anger and frustration that Indigenous peoples have experienced. I am just not the kind of person that can condone the burning of any churches. I feel like that is incredible. It's an expression of frustration, but something of rage, of pent-up anger. But it's not something that I can exactly condone.
I don't condone church burning, especially if you're doing it, okay. It's pretty radical though. I don't think that's the way to do it. Yeah, especially if it's especially if it's a historical building. I don't know, that's a hard subject to think about, yeah.
When people are hurt, they lash out irrationally sometimes, and that's just...
It's safe to say, though, they're turning their anger on Christians today who didn't really have anything to do with what happened 100 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's super valid, because a lot of people are getting punished for an older, a different generation.
Erasing history by removing this from public knowledge, burning down churches, toppling down statues, really doesn't benefit the situation, does it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's, the statues and the churches, certainly I understand the anger behind that.
Directing anger at Christians today for something that happened 100 years ago doesn't make sense, though, does it?
I don't think it's directing anger at the Christians. I think it's
burning down Catholic churches.
That's directing anger at the whole, Catholic Church as a whole. I don't think they're angry at...
Anger at a building in response to the death of children. So I think that's justified.
That's justified?
I believe so. I don't think anyone was hurt in the burning down of churches. I think they're burning down a symbol that has oppressed them for years.
Right.
So I don't think the destruction of property is usually warranted, but I understand that there's anger that people are feeling and they're trying to express themselves.
They put Indigenous people in residential schools, man, and tortured them.
Yeah, the Catholic Church, along with the government.
You tell me whether that's right or not, man.
That's very, very wrong. But I don't think burning down churches today is going to help anything.
Burning down churches long time ago is a good move.
So you think all of them should be continued to be burned down?
No, not at all.
I'll go burn that one down right there.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does.
To be precise, it doesn't make sense for people to burn down churches. Okay, I went to church, I went to catechism, I'm Roman Catholic, and I did not know what the hell was going on. But due to my whole entire family, we have the St. Paul's Church. I swear nobody will burn that down, because if anybody does, I'll burn anybody down.
Have you heard they're burning churches down now these days? 6 of them have gone down on indigenous lands because they're kind of angry.
Because they're pissed. Dude, 50,000 kids, this is a genocide country. We're built on fucking dead people.
But do you condone burning churches?
I could give a crap. It's not my church. Yeah, it's the Catholics are freaking Satanists anyway, so they probably burnt them down themselves so they can get some victim money and bunch of pedos. Everybody knows they're fucking pedos. Catholics are pedos.
Yeah.
It's not news.
Right. You think the Pope should make an official apology?
Yeah, and that's what I heard that Justin Trudeau was calling for that too. So
he's calling to have the flags at Ottawa half-mast. What do you think of that?
Yeah. I honestly have no clue what that means, but...
So usually when they're mourning like the death of a soldier or something, they will drop flags to half-mast is called, so it's not flying all the way to the top. So they're almost like saying Canada's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so many Indigenous children in Canada have died, so I mean, yeah, I'd say that seems reasonable.
Is it important to focus on the good things Canada has done too, and all the great things?
We celebrate that every single year,
Yeah,
but right now,
every day we do that.
there's more important things to focus on.
Yeah.
So I don't think spending, one day, 1 year focusing on this is really going to harm many people, but it's going to cause a lot of good for a lot of people who've suffered for a long time.
Yeah. I don't think that, anyone ever questions the good that Canada has done or the good that Canada does do. But I still think more needs to be done, and I don't know, there's a lot of hurt people out there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, definitely the wrongs need to be made right, that's for sure. I guess it's just a question of how we go about doing that. So, yeah. Cool. Thanks for talking to us, guys. Well, there you have it, folks. Very interesting results indeed. I think it was maybe 50-50 of people who were in favor of either supporting Canada Day or canceling it. But what I was surprised by the most was it seems that the majority of people we talked to were in favor of burning down Catholic churches. They were fully condoning the action, and obviously that does no good for anybody moving forward. And having said that, guys, I would like to let you know I don't feel that it's the Native community or the First Nations community who are burning down these churches. I think it's this far left activists, this violent Antifa atheists who hate God and everything he created. I think that's where we're seeing the actual destruction coming from. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share this one, guys, and stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.